is shared. Tamara and Sharon, a duo prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back. Forward with fortitude, the future's in sight. Together we rise like stars in the night. Authenticity reigns, love leads the way. We're speaking in harmony every single day. Speak harmony, let your voice intertwine. So let's move forward, ever bold and true. With Sharon and Tamara, the vision breaks through. Speak harmony where hearts align.
Speak harmony where hearts collide, where we collaborate. This evening, we thank you for your patience. We've been busy. We've been busy.
It's been a busy whole day. A whole day of business.
Well, this particular episode is of Speak Harmony is brought to you by our sponsors, APAP Media Group. APAP Media Group, as you know, is a full-service creative video and photo production company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, live streaming. And to contact them, you reach them at www.apapmedia.com. That's www.apapmedia.com. Or you can email them at info@apapmedia.com. Thank you to our sponsors, APAP Media. Thank you. Now, let us kick off this evening.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting on this for so long that I'm just like, Dr. Ward is coming in, Katrina is here.
Yes.
So the first time we're actually having two people on set at the same time. So this is a first. So we're excited to have both of you here and to share with us just this wealth of knowledge and also the support that you all do and breaking barriers. That's the biggest thing today.
Yes, Women's History Month. What a way to
shattering the glass ceiling.
What a way to do it.
Yes.
I mean, we've had traffic, a flow coming in and out of here, and you all will learn more about it in a couple of weeks. But
yes.
APAP's doing a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes.
And we're excited to just even be in the space to be able to celebrate. As we talk about this, we talk about wellness. Today is talking about wellness, mind, body, and soul. And, Sharon still dislikes me for saying this, but I just got back from Jamaica because I had to have a wellness trip. Yeah. And it wasn't anything that I needed to just go. I needed to water my spirit, right?
Yes.
And I think that's why we're having this roundtable today, because we have to take care of our body, we have to take care of our mind, and we have to protect who we are as women. So when I talk about going to, it wasn't because of that. We went to a wellness retreat where we had 6 women there who were pouring into each other as we talked about trauma. We talked about how it affects our body. We also talked about how do we protect ourselves and help others and create this sisterhood. So there were 6 of us women, and today there are 4 of us sitting at this table, but there's actually been 6 women in the studio right now. So we have some
sisters supporting us. Came in, rotated out, called on us. And we had the gentlemen who came in through also because they believe in what we do, because they know we speak harmony. And therefore they're supporting us. Mr. P, Patrick Parkins, the owner of the studio, APAP Media, he's been supporting me from day one.
Yes.
He's been supporting us.
He's been supporting us. It's been 3 months. We're actually celebrating our 3 months anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes, January 7th was exactly the day that we kicked off.
So here we are.
Wow.
Tammy.
I know. I
Oh my God, did she? 3 months and I thought, did she check her calendar or something?
Months.
What 3 months? It is that.
Yes.
It's March 11th.
Yeah.
So we celebrated 3 months.
3 months.
Of doing this.
Yeah.
And it's been, what a pleasure. We've met some amazing people. We've got, we attract that kind of synergy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just that kind of energy.
Right.
And so we don't want to waste any time.
No, not at all.
We've been a little rollback because we've been doing some special stuff behind the scenes, guys. So when you hear about it, you will see on the follow-ups, the other podcasts. But for right now, we're going to jump in. Dr. Rhonda Ward, we've got her here, Tammy. She's a DCND. She's a board-certified doctor of chiropractic medicine and naturopath. She graduated from Life University and Trinity School of Natural Health with extensive, and we emphasize extensive, research in functional medicine and nutrition. Through proper correction and nutritional deficiencies and malalignment of the spine, Dr. Ward aids the body in restoring health, and I can attest to that. I've been seeing her for years, and she does just that.
I need to know firsthand too. So I'm jealous. No, there's a thought of it. So that was one of the reasons why I was so excited to have her in here, because I know how important chiropractic care is.
Yes.
And it not only helps your body but your mind.
Absolutely.
That relief that happens.
It does.
So as we go on, this extensive background, I read her thing and I said, boy, I'm just honored to be in the room.
Yes.
And so we have it. But as you see there, and
Been
you
to
have some
Jamaica.
ground.
She's an American sister.
Oh, I saw that.
Who knows
Jamaican
our island
affiliations.
more, kind of sort of like us, but
Yeah.
probably a little more, because she goes there every year, and she goes with these groups that she does
The
all
work.
these
Yes.
extensive.
Yes,
So she doesn't only play there, work there. She plays there.
Yes.
And that's it. So Dr. Ward, talk
Yes.
to us. Tell us what this functional, extensive medicine and nutrition and all this stuff, what you do. I mean, how do you touch people? Because people, there's a major misconception as far as chiropractors are concerned.
Absolutely.
Every time I say, oh, my chiropractor, people cringe.
Yeah.
But those who are educated, those who know,
they know.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
I know.
So, listen, this is about living out your purpose, right? And we all need to be purposeful. And how we achieve that is that I need you pain-free. I need you reticent. I need you cognizant. I need you ready for your mission that particular day, so that you may live out your intended purpose. And so I do that with a host of sometimes it's spinal manipulation, sometimes it's herbal medicine, it's minerals. There's a host of natural means that I use to edify and facilitate healing in the body. And it is through those processes that we reverse chronic diseases. And that allows you to go forward and live out what your purpose is.
I love that you use the word purpose.
Absolutely.
We talk about purpose-driven. We just came from a collision with purpose and understanding why it's important for us to live our purpose, to be purposeful in our intentions, and for that. And I love to hear that you're using a combination of things, of traditional medicine and non-traditional things that we're doing, and combining that to make us whole.
Absolutely.
Because we need to go back to being whole. We live in chronic pain, chronic trauma, pulling that all together. How do you find that as women, we carry so much stress, right? And we carry it because of childbirthing, through different things, through trauma that we may have experienced, that sometimes we hold it in our bellies, in our spines, and different things. Just even the way we're sitting. I'm straightening up, looking at her, I'm just like,
Well, it's... I always say it's one of the hardest jobs. We are mothers, we are wives. We are tending and nurturing to our families, as we should. But oftentimes we are not tending and nurturing to self. And so it's important that we are edifying our mind, body, and spirit. And so what I find is that women are extremely stressed. They are extremely deficient in nutrients, right? We live in this hustle and bustle of American life, and you've got to pick up the kids, and then there's homework and tend to the husband and the household, and women are really tired.
Yes.
And it is through their fatigue, it's almost malaise at this point, that they're like, okay, well, you keep talking about purpose. I don't have the energy to go from here to there. I'm tired. I'm run down. And so I often see that in practice, and there are ways that we can get the body right back on board, get the mind and the spirit right back, so that you have those nutritional foundations, that you have the physicality to do what is needed in your home and outside of the home.
I think culturally it's hard, though.
It is, but you know what? I mean, you said it right. We've got to come back to center. We've
do.
got to refocus. We've got to make time. And just like anything else, we make time for what we want to.
We do.
And so if
Absolutely.
it gets to the point where we can't function effectively in our households, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what?
It
Somebody
falls-
suffers. The
Yeah.
family suffers.
Yeah.
So we've got to make sure that we do what's right from jump. You know what I mean? We
Yes.
don't want to wait on to that point where, you know, it's like the wheels fall off.
Yes.
The wheels are all falling off. Because a lot of people, and I'm going to make that reference, they drive that car until the wheels will literally fall off. You speak, my husband says it all the time. You know what? It's no use in driving a car or driving a vehicle and not knowing anything about it. You
Yes.
have to know something about it, because if, God forbid, you don't have someone to change your tires, you have a flat tire and you're in the middle of nowhere, but you've got a spare. What are you going to do? Just sit and look at it?
Oh.
So you've got to know how to. There's some things that we just need to know how to do. And honestly, I'm putting my hand up because I do. I need to know how to do things. I've been spoiled by, you know, my husband taking care of certain things, but we've got to come back to basics. Take care of ourselves. Taking care of ourselves is is a priority.
And how often really are we really edifying and speaking life into one another? Right? How often do you come and your practitioner is saying, oh, let me edify you. Let us work in the affirmative, that this is our goal. And we may be starting here. Our goal is to come here. Right? We don't have to look back. We just know that we are going, always looking forward to what the goal is. And then we meet the goal. We are only working in that affirms.
Begin with the goal in mind, the end in mind.
Absolutely.
And I think it's very important that we do that. We have Katrina, who is sitting here, and we talk about, we're going to do a full introduction of who she is.
Yes.
But when we talk about beginning with the end in mind and thinking about helping people to overcome those things that are meant to break us. And sometimes we have to need people like you who show up in spaces. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you do. We're going to go back into that. But you show up for people constantly. And you are in constant crisis mode, because between Sharon and I calling you to say, hey, we have this going on, to you having to help women reach that point of safety. Help women reach that point of they can breathe, literally breathe, because we have been they're holding on to something that has been going on constantly, and they have not had the chance to just take a breath.
Correct.
How do you manage that for yourself? Let's not even talk about the organization, but how do you, as somebody that so many people rely on, how do you take time to take that breath?
It's really about self-awareness, listening to my body. I'm fortunate to work from home, so if my body says, okay, it's time to lay down, it's time to lay down. One of my grounding practices is taking a bath or a shower or something about the water speaks to me. So I know if it's certain times when my body's just saying, hey, you really need to relax right now, just using those grounding techniques to journaling. Some days if I say, I want to, sit in the bed or just relax until 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock and everything, I honor myself that and say it's going to be okay. I just had to move, so I can have my own separate office space. And that was very important because it's something about closing the door and walking away, turning the lights off, walking away, and just sitting down and relax. But it's a lot of self-awareness and, just being honest with myself and not trying to be superwoman and push myself, through things. A lot of people see me doing so much, but they don't see the time where I am being truthful to myself and say, you know what, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I need to go into silence and solitude right now. I need to block out a day right now. You know what, it's 12 o'clock. I need to shut it off right now. So they don't see those times where I do take time for myself. But it's okay because it's my time, and I have to honor myself. What I do is I consider it my calling, it's a passion. But then again, like you said, I don't want to run myself down. because I do have people that depend on me, you know, and that look for, even if it's just a text message to say, hey, how are you doing? How's your mental space today? You know, and then, you know, speaking, you know, what you're saying, it feels really good when you have, you know, the people you serve that says, you know what, how are you doing? You know, you take care of us, but we gotta take care of you too. And that's the beauty of women, you know, that where we can sit there as a sisterhood and see how we can serve each other. You know, we all need help and support and just being seen. I think that's a big thing for women. We do so much to, a lot of times we feel invisible or not seen. And just those little times where someone does say, how are you doing, and mean it.
Right.
And
That
mean
part.
it.
Get it again. And that's it, is the mean it. It's showing up. Go ahead.
It is. It really is, because I love that you said that. We need to just feel special. We really do, and we want to.
Right.
I mean, so for you out there who are saying, that's not me, I don't want to be special, we all feel the need to feel special. What it is that sometimes we need to just take that spotlight off everyone else, and guess what? Just turn it on ourselves.
Yes.
We really need to do that, and that's something. Tammy and I talk about it. I speak to this with other sisters of mine, even Dr. Ward. We talk about it. We've got to put a hard pause and say, you know what? Stop, Sharon. It's time to focus on you. I thank my husband, and he's going to get me for this one. Every time. I keep putting my feet in my mouth, but he does. He would say stuff to me like, Sharon, you cannot serve the entire world. You're not Mother Teresa. You're not. Stop.
Yeah.
But when you're wired a certain way, God just wires you, and He does say He equips the called.
Right.
And if you're called to a certain thing, you're just called. And right now, I will say, right here in this room, we're all called.
Yes.
We're all
Yes.
called to
Yes.
serve.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We are called to serve. And honestly, I see you, Dr. Ward, serving. I met Katrina, and in that short space of time I've known her, she has served. I've known Tammy for years, and with her art and curating her art, she serves. I mean, people will see me busybody getting out here doing this in the community, but that's what I do. I am wired to serve.
Yes.
And if it doesn't mean, sometimes, like my husband says, don't disservice. You don't do yourself a disservice by serving everyone else and not serving you. So what you said, Katrina, thank you. Thank you, because guess what? That's what I'll be doing.
So, you know, one of the things we talk about journaling. So my journaling is next to me. And it has been a part of the series that I'm working on about watering yourself. And it says healing takes time.
Yes.
And I had to put it at the forefront. And it says dream, plan, do, but you have to bloom where you're planted.
Oh, I love that.
So it's very important that we're blooming, but we have to take time to heal.
Yes.
And that healing is from a physical standpoint, but from a mental and physical and emotional standpoint as well that we continue to do. But one of the things that you just said too was trusting the Lord to know that He will be the healer. He's the ultimate healer of who we are and our body. But we have to tap into that purpose. We have to acknowledge that He is there for us, that we have to understand that if we don't do the work, it won't get done. And we have to be mindful enough. And when I go back to culturally, it's hard for people to, as Black women to go to the chiropractor. We're just like, we just need to go to the regular GP.
Yeah.
Chiropractic is not important. We don't need to go to a trauma specialist. We don't need to have the conversations with people. Because in our culture, we're taught that we don't tell people what's going on with us. And if we have something to chiropractor, just sit on the floor, you'll be fine. Or take a physics or whatever it is.
Get a foam roll and just roll yourself.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Well, you know, for too long, too long, we have allowed others to treat us in ways that are not acceptable for us. And then, you know, oftentimes we internalize and project that into our everyday life, that it's acceptable to be neglected. It's acceptable to be second. And I just submit that it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not being selfish.
Go ahead and
Because
Selfless.
you have got to be in a space where if your cup is running over, it is not that you're depleting the cup. And I think we work to where we are depleted. Right. No, it is when our cup is full and running over that we're allowed to give back. And as she stated before, you have to have the time. You have to have the time to decompress mentally from everything and everybody that you're dealing with. And there has got to be a turn of this tide, and we have got to prioritize our well-being, because we are only as healthy as the nation of women that we are.
And we have to
And
work
even
together.
those with children, though, because I mean,
yes.
sitting at this table, I'm the only one who does not have biological children. I do have children. Your children are my
Yes.
children.
Right.
Yes.
But even with that, you need to be able to shut that door, close that door, Katrina, and say, oh, it's 12 o'clock. It's me time.
Yes.
And guess what? I'm putting on Tammy, D&D.
Yep.
Means do not disturb.
Yep.
Those words mean something. I don't want to be disturbed.
Yes.
I'm focusing on me.
Yes.
And therefore, this is what I'm doing. I'm taking 1 hour for me, 2 hours. I'm giving myself permission to take 3 hours. And that's okay. I'm taking the whole day, as a matter of fact. At that point.
There are days.
Guess what?
There are days.
Take a few days.
Yes.
Yes, I will go a step further and say a week, because that's what it requires to get refilled,
Yes.
replenished,
Yes.
and recharged. And we have to learn those. Being still is not a bad thing.
No, it's a
being
complete.
still. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. I'm learning. I'm learning. And let me tell you, the past few days, my body says, "You don't know how to keep still."
I'm gonna show you.
No, Wayne, stop. I hear my husband over there going, "Yes," and I'm going, because I keep running.
Yeah.
This one calls. I need to get this done.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. My husband goes, "Where are you going again?" But again, that's how we're wired. And God provides. He does. He
Yeah.
gives us those visions, and he gives us the missions that we have to accomplish. And he creates the provisions. But he also, again, referring to the bus.
Yeah.
We can't run that bus until the wheels fall off.
Right.
At some point, those wheels are going to need servicing. They're going to need some new wheels.
Oil change.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
And so, therefore, stopping to recharge is imperative.
Yeah, I had to learn. I had to learn in prayer. Prayer is when we take our cares, concerns, and everything before the Lord.
Yes.
But when we're sitting still in meditation, that's when we receive. Okay? And if we want to pray and we say, Lord, not my will, but your will.
Yes.
How do we know what his will is if we're not being still enough to receive the direction that he's given us? We have to have that time where we're sitting down and saying, Lord, speak to me. However which way. Because if we keep going and going and going, there's no way we can be able to receive those messages in a direction. I know with what I do, I didn't ask to do this. It just fell in my lap, which I know God open that way. He allows and disallows, And one day I look up and I'm just here. Then I'm meeting you all, and it's like I'm like, okay, have your way. But it's in times like like that. You have to be able to sit still and say, you know what? Okay, which way are you going? Which way are your feet planted? Where is God taking you? And be able to be submissive to the messages and the guidance that from the Holy Spirit that He gives us. But it's very important. I had to learn that there's a difference. There's a difference. We take time, we pray, we talk to God and everything. But sometimes we got to shut up and let Him speak to us.
Yeah.
Say it again, please.
Wow. For the
Have to be
record.
quiet.
Yes, we had to
The
be
noise.
quiet. Yes, shut it off.
Yep.
The noise that's there. So Katrina and I met. I partner with the Coalition for Domestic Violence. And so I wasn't able to attend the last event because I was sick. It's a part of when I was sick and going through this. But I had reached out to them because I had it in my spirit, and I've been doing this behind the scenes with domestic violence, women with maternal health, people who are being sex trafficked. I've been working behind the scenes. But I thought it was time that I came out from behind the scenes and worked directly with an organization. So she was referred to me for me to provide assistance to whatever it is, from clothing to training to whatever it is that we could do. But she and I spoke on that phone on that Monday. And when I tell you that two souls met, and I found my sister in Christ. I found my sister in purpose.
Yes.
And so it was important when we met initially for us to get things done. We didn't think it was going to be as soon as it was going to be. We talked that Monday, that Tuesday, we had a crisis. We had a situation that somebody needed our help right then and there. She literally left with the clothes on her back.
And right here.
Right here.
After the podcast.
After APAP, she met me in the
right here.
parking lot. But when we talk about God giving you your purpose and God showing you where you need to be, sometimes I'm like, God, but I'm doing my art. But God, I'm doing my training. I don't have that time to be an advocate all the time. But in this season, the last month, we've just been like going. Sharon jumped on, my neighbor jumped on, and we understand that when we're called, we need to answer the call, but we have to be quiet. Sometimes we need to, God will find out within ourselves when we search ourselves what is going on and going through.
Right.
So I am a victim of molestation. I'm a victim of rape. And I know how important it is to have a support system. I've gone through therapy. I've gone through different things. And trust me, chiropractic care works because that release that happens when you go through that. But when I met Katrina, we connected. And when I talked to her, and this is not a story that I tell people very often, is just in going through this journey, and again, having gone through this journey that I went through 2 weeks ago, through this retreat that I had, that I'm able to talk more about this publicly because this is going to go all over the world. People will hear and see. But that's not what's important. It's important that I speak up because there's so many girls going through this right now. There are so many women who are being impacted by trafficking, who are being abused in whatever way, and we need you, and we need you. So it's very ironic that we brought both of you, and we had planned a show, but in itself, it's how today's about wellness, and it's so important. We have somebody off camera who is here. She does the aromatherapy that I use to relieve that stress. Tracy Thomason is in studio with us, and when we talk about us coming together as a community, that we need our sisters. We need our sisters who show up and advocate for us. We need our practitioners who understand that we're not just coming in and, we have our arm hurting or our back hurting us, that there's so much more going on. So much more. So I appreciate what both of you do on the other side of the table to help us heal, not just individually, but as a nation, as a tribe. We need healers.
Right.
And healing comes in so many different forms.
It does.
It does.
So many different.
Because right here, right now, this is therapy right here. And we don't understand what you said, Tammy, that there are people watching this podcast right now who are being spoken to because they needed to hear this to be able to go back and sit down and start their healing process. We don't know where anyone is in their journey in life. We really don't know.
Right.
But this is what it does. I mean, we have to be in that safe space, but then there are times when we just have to kick in the door and say, you know what, I don't care if you know about me or what you know about me, because guess what? I'm redeemed. And that's all you need to do. I have been redeemed. So guess what? I don't care what you say about me. It really doesn't matter because it's really what he says about me.
Correct.
What God says about me is the final say so. So, okay, fine, go ahead and talk about me. Oh, you heard that I did what on Speak Harmony at APAP Media? So what?
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
Because guess what? Someone needs that healing.
Right.
I appreciate the courage that it takes
Oh, my God, yes.
to make that statement. In office, upwards of about 80% of women that I see have dealt with some type of sexual trauma. It is like it's the unspoken rule.
Yes.
That part.
And it's going to take us to bring power, to bring voice to it. So, as she stated, it allows people to come forth and be healed from it. Because that type of trauma, as she can attest to, it gets trapped in your body. You have to be able to release it out of your physicality, right? And progress forward past that trauma. And it can be done. I think we are all living testimonies of that in some way, right?
We are.
And so I appreciate you being honest. And I appreciate your bravery and courage in speaking on it, because there are droves of women, young and old, who unfortunately have walked in those same footsteps. And we didn't give voice to it.
So I'm trying to give the voice to the voiceless.
Yes.
And that's in telling my story. And I think we have a platform, not only here at APAP, but in general, that I have a big social media for people to understand it can happen to anyone.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And it happens to many of us, and we don't have to live in the shame
Yes.
and the things and the stigma that goes along with going through
Yes.
that. And we have to shed it. And a part of my healing journey is talking about it, is being able to communicate to my sisters, to my friends, to say, hey, I am not Superwoman, that I have gone through the trauma that I've gone through, but here I am sitting in front of you. I've accomplished so much in my life despite.
Yes.
So whatever has happened, and many times, you said 80%.
80%.
80%. Those numbers, as we sit here and we go through that, we don't understand what that represents. But when people put a face to it to say, I am a victim, but I'm a survivor.
Yes.
I'm no
Yes.
longer
Right.
the victim.
Right.
I am a survivor. I tell people all the time is that we go through these different, and Katrina and I have talked through this, I've told her my story and told her why it was important for me to stand up for these women, why it was important for me to be a part of her journey to help these women. And they don't know who I am behind the scenes, and they don't need to know who I am.
No.
My giving to them is not because of what I've gone through, because I don't want for them to go through this.
Yes.
And I don't want to think they're alone. So I don't need to get involved. I need to be the face now to tell other people, look out for your children.
Yes.
Look out for your sons
Yes.
and your daughters.
And
It's-
your daughters.
It's not just your daughters. It's your sons.
It's
as
your
well.
sons
Right.
too.
Yeah.
It's your
So when we
sons.
talk about that, we need to go to our providers and say, hey, raise my hand. This has happened.
Oh, yeah.
Can you help me?
Yes.
Right.
And we need to ask for help.
Right.
And I think that's the thing what we don't talk about more is that we need to reach out and say, hey,
Yeah.
I need you right now, because it's a very dark place that you can go into having gone through those things.
Yeah, and I think it's just very important for, our practitioners and anyone that we go to believe people.
Yes.
I'm a survivor myself. That's how, me and T came into knowing each other through the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And unfortunately, but fortunately, my travels and journeys with abuse led to incarceration. And in there, inside, Georgia, the coalition helped me get home, advocated for me to get home. And that's what they're doing now, even passing a bill. And right here in Georgia, the intimate partner violence was not recognized until the 80s. Before that, and this is the issue, even in the Constitution and everything, women were looked at as property. You're the property to your husband. And that mentality just kept going on and on and on. So when a woman hollered and said, hey, someone's hurting me, or someone has raped me, or, it was always swept to the side or ignored. And, even going through my journey, it was. Even my lawyer said, I don't have a defense for you. Even after listening to tapes, showing evidence, whatever, I don't have a defense for you. So it's so many women, not only once they, when I started, my nonprofit, and it's say, okay, at what point, and this is God-led, it's that pivotal point within the first 72 hours that a woman flees. Because what happens is we don't get that woman, and a lot of times they come with their children in tow. If we don't get them to a place of safety within 72 hours, the likelihood of them even returning, going, using dating apps, prostituting, anything they have to do for survival. They're in straight survival mode.
Oh yeah.
And we don't want our women, especially our children, out there hurting and in dangerous situations. And I know from, so many women, I see this so many times where I'll say, okay, call this resource. Call this resource, because when you're dealing with domestic violence, they have to speak to the person themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? And when they explain their situation, a lot of organizations where they go and they seek help for, they would, whoever answers the phone, I've had women say, oh my God, she says she's going to call defects on me. I'm sleeping in my car. I'm scared. Should I hang up? What should I do? And they're scared. And this is just time after time after time, where instead of looking at the woman and the child, that these people need help. They need help. They need to be safe.
Re-victimizing.
They re-traumatize, re-victimizing them, and it's the abuse goes from one hand to the other, and they cannot get a break.
And you know what? They return to like a dog returning to its vomit. Because when you are so desperate, you're like, because I worked for, like you and I told Tammy about this. I worked for the Section 8 in New York, but I had gone to a different department within the Housing Authority, which we dealt with victims of domestic violence, intimidated witnesses, intimidated victims. And it's been years, but every time I think of her, because she's no longer with us, she filed a restraining order. And this is not to bash men at all, because it's not what it's all about. It's to uplift our people. But what it is that we say her name, Crystal. We moved her upstate, New York, out of one of the 5 boroughs, and she did not survive. She made it to the 6 o'clock news. And someone came and shared it and said, do you know what happened here? And we all wept bitterly. We were angry because the first thing we said was, why did she do that? Because she dropped the charges.
Wow.
He went to her family or friends or whomever, and someone said, oh, she's upset. And how do they find, especially back then, how do they find her? But they know how to, because they manipulate.
Yes.
And so for young women, mature women, seasoned women, women in marriages, women in relationships, whatever it is, whether it's at work, right now, and I'm getting very emotional about it, and sexual about it, and I'm serious about it, is that
we should.
You need to speak to someone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. If you speak to Tammy, and Tammy doesn't listen, and you speak to me, and I don't listen, go to Dr. Ward.
Yes.
Go to Katrina.
Yes.
Go to the young lady. Go to Mr. P. Go to someone else.
Yes.
Don't stop. Don't run. Don't quit. Because your life depends on it. So many lives depend on it. And especially when you have children. Okay?
Yes.
It's unfair for these children, these cycles to continue. It disturbs my very being.
Yes.
It really makes me very aggravated and agitated to hear this. I want to go fight someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
As practitioners, we're not here to judge any situation, to judge you.
Right.
And I always tell my patient, I'm team you.
Right.
Yes.
I'm for you. But you have got to tell me what it is that you are struggling with, what you're going through, and that needs to come from a place of honesty. You have to be soberly minded when you tell me what are the challenges that you're facing, such that I can best help you. Find a practitioner where you can come to
you.
Authentically.
Yes.
That's the part.
Yes.
We listen and we
Authentically,
don't judge.
right, and not judge the situation. It is not my job to judge anything about you. You could tell, it doesn't matter what you tell me. I will be in no place of judgment.
Right.
That's not why I'm here.
There's so many practitioners who are unlike you. They don't have the time.
Right.
They don't take the time to look at the whole person.
Yeah.
They're not in it for the right reason.
And so this is what happened. So we talk about it. When I disclosed initially, it was my doctor.
Yes.
It was my doctor. She's my neighbor as well. And I told her. And I was 17 years old.
Yes.
And this had gone on for years. But I felt safe enough to say to her, this is what was going on. Because when you talk about it, that rapport that you build with your doctor is the most intimate relationship that you will have.
Right.
Because that's a person who can literally heal you from whatever is going on. But there has to be trust. But we have this stigma attached to these different things, though. That people's like, well, what did you do? What were you wearing? Didn't you see the red flags? Didn't you, whatever it is? It's, no. There are so many times, and these men groom children
Yes.
way beforehand.
Yes.
And there are 45-year-old women who still go through it
absolutely.
because they're being groomed. Because society paints this picture that you should live a certain way, you should look a certain way, and there are different things that happen. And we don't talk about the things that happen behind closed doors that you should still look for.
And you don't know you're in the midst of the predator.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
They sugarcoat everything.
Right. I have a
How can you?
64-year-old woman right now that contacted me, and I'm working with her right now. 64 years old.
Wow.
This is a time in her life where she should be relaxing,
Of course, and enjoying life.
just enjoying life. She's a mom, you know, and she is afraid for her life. 64 years old.
Being
It's
love
got to
bombed.
stop.
Yes.
They love bombs.
Yeah.
They love bomb.
Yes.
They go through these different things, and then they tell you a story. They paint this picture for you that everything is going to be okay, and you go through whatever it is, and then they end up being victimized, and then you go through it be financial victimization that happens sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's the emotional things that happen. So he said, "Oh, well, you look a certain way today. Why are you going out looking like that?" And
Right.
it's all those different things.
Yeah.
So when we talk about abuse, abuse is not only a physical or a sexual abuse that happens. It's oftentimes emotional or financial.
Oh, no, that's what it is,
Yeah.
definitely. And I just want to thank you for what you do, because I know, you know, as a survivor, you know, we know the body keeps score, you know. It
Yes.
keeps score. And for, you're talking about a lot of, you know, people, and it's not, like we said, it's not just women.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, and it's not just in heterosexual relationships.
That's
It's in
absolutely
same-sex
true.
relationships as well, you know. It's sometimes in a parent-child relationship.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, you know, I had to learn these things. I had to see this, listening to these women's stories, and sometimes the abuse being at the hands of their own parent.
Yes.
But the body, their bodies, you imagine living in that stress, that
Fight
that
or flight.
fight or
Yes.
flight, or
Every
freeze, or freeze,
Freeze. Or freeze.
or freeze.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And the body is sitting there just taking it like a punching bag over and over and over, you know, and literally being punched, you know, in times. And so coming to you, being able to get that release and work those kinks and everything out, you know, that's the main thing. You know, when I get, you know, my ladies, once they get to safety, it's about empowerment.
Yes.
Who are you? You are capable.
Yes.
You're not what anyone else said. You're not what you went through. You're not how you were treated. You are no longer in that situation. You are enough.
Yeah.
It may hurt some days. You may fall. You may give up. You may cry. And this is where I, you know, come in with the trauma-informed care, you know, but to still speak life into them, because they are just that, survivors, resilient women,
Yes.
you know, resilient people that come. I even have men that have been in a situation, and now they want to help other men, you know, and how not to get in that situation, how to see the warning signs, how to protect yourself, you know. It's a lot, you know. Unfortunately,
One
when you
size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
though.
it's no, and that's why you have to look at every case individual, every person individual. You know, we can say that overlying word of abuse, but everybody has their own story, and
Yes.
they need that place when you're talking. That's in being, you know, trauma informed focus. That's the first thing we do is provide safety, and it's not just physical safety.
That's
It's
right.
a safe place where I can say, "Hey, can I talk to you?"
Absolutely.
You know, I would encourage anyone in any type of work, you know, learn the signs. There are signals out there that these women may say, you know, writing a circle on their hand, calling the police and ordering a pizza, things like that. You know, there's things that I've seen in some bathrooms, which I love, where they have the sign. If you need help, you know, right?
Yes.
And know that, you know, even down to children, you know, going into bathrooms and their parents saying, "Hey, go ahead to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom," and never seeing their child again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My
You know?
son,
Oh, yeah.
is 20 years old. He's a special needs child, and even to this day, I stand up at the bathroom door and make sure.
To make sure.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Right.
Because you want to make sure. It doesn't matter what age sex, whatever it is. But I love what you said, though. We all have to be advocates. We all have to look
It's
out.
our business.
We are a sister's keeper.
is.
We are
It is
a
our
brother's
business.
keeper.
Right.
Get involved.
Right.
Get involved.
And
Right.
I understand why they don't have pens on bathroom doors, but I wish they had pens on the bathroom
Yes.
doors. Somebody could say, I live at XYZ and this is what is happening to me. Or here's my name, here's my number, or something like that. They say call, but most times when they're being trafficked, they don't get to hold the phone.
That's
No.
right.
No, they don't.
That's
They
right.
don't have a way to communicate.
right.
So we should be doing more. And I really appreciate the Georgia Domestic Violence Coalition against what they are doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But we need to do more.
Right.
We need to do more here in Gwinnett County.
Yes,
Because
yes.
there are a lot of women who are unhoused and living in not just shelters, because sometimes they can't be in
They
shelters
can't.
because of the rules.
Yes.
They're living in hotel rooms,
Hotels,
motels,
yeah.
and everything else.
And they're
or in the
targets.
cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those are targets
Yes.
right there.
And they're in the
They're
cars.
easy targets because people see them and,
Yes.
and the predators watch them.
Yes.
Because they know the body language.
They know.
Yes.
They know you. Let me tell you, when you're afraid, when you're scared, they know.
Yes.
Yeah.
They know. And it's, again, like you said, it's, it's not only men that are being, women that are being trafficked.
It's men.
Men are being trafficked.
Yes. Little
a whole-
boys, yeah.
Little
Yeah.
boys. I
Yes.
mean, so we have to look out, and we cannot keep secrets.
No.
As a society, secrets are out the window.
Yes.
Yes.
It's my business. It's your business.
Absolutely.
To speak up.
Right.
I mean, when you see something
See
going
something,
wrong,
yes.
I
Speak up.
cannot
Yes.
stand somebody
Yes.
says, well, I don't want to get involved because I'm scared. Well, you know what? Why don't you write a note, just an anonymous letter or whatever, and leave it at church,
Right.
or leave it at the fire
Somewhere.
station or
Safe
someplace.
Something.
Right.
Someplace
Right.
where it's, you know what I'm saying? But we've got to do it. We've got to speak up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got to speak up. It is our business, because if I see, God forbid, my neighbor's child, okay, I see something fishy over there, but I don't want to approach the parents because I'm scared they'll tell me mind my business. You know what? I'll go report it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm that girl.
Right.
And I'm not
You have
afraid to say it.
Right.
I'm going to tell.
Right.
I'm going to speak up. I'm in the airport.
Right.
And I've seen stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've acted.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you come as a father and you don't, the child that goes in that bathroom doesn't look like you, yes, you could be the stepfather, you could be the uncle, I get all that. But you can tell when that child, that young person,
Yeah.
is
Yes.
scared.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can
can
tell.
see
You
the
can
fear.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's written all over their faces. How do you go and use that toilet, wash your hands, and walk outside?
Indeed.
And creepy old
Yeah.
thug is standing outside
Yes.
the bathroom door waiting. Because guess what? That child, that young girl, boy, is being trafficked.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
And
Is being
Atlanta
trafficked.
airport is
famous.
Yes.
for
Number
that.
one.
Yes.
So therefore, guess what?
Number one.
Use your phones and use it effectively.
Yes. Yes.
Put it
most
out.
Definitely.
You don't have to take pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, you may need them, but I'm just saying. And don't post it up.
Right.
I mean, because this is what we do. We share stuff like it goes viral. We've got to address these things. And so as we come to a close, ladies, my goodness. Wow, this is another subject that's near and dear to my heart, because you can tell I'm passionate about this.
Right.
And I kind of go a little overboard sometimes when I see certain telltale signs around
Right.
me.
It's not overboard.
You know, molestation, rape, all that mess
Right.
takes place, guys, sometimes with people closest to us. Like I
Yes.
said, parents,
Yes.
mothers.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I said mothers.
Yes.
Fathers.
Father.
Yes, I said fathers. Brothers, sisters, cousins, whatever.
Right.
So guess what? We've got to talk about it. And sometimes it gets to the point where we're so secretive about it. Oh, well, we don't want to tell anybody. Oh, my God, I didn't realize that. So he touched her and she... But guess what? We've got to share. And we've got to tell the others, listen, this is what's happening. Don't let this happen to your
Right.
children.
That's
Protect
right.
your children.
Right.
That's
Sleepovers,
right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm going to drop my kids off to so-and-so's house. Not every house is a safe place.
No.
And you have to check out. As a
Yeah.
parent, you have to go and check. I'm sorry, I need to double check who
Yeah.
are you going to,
Yes.
whatever it is. But as
And
you
even
said,
when you check.
even when you check,
Even when you check.
And
Yes.
I think, especially when it's small children, pay attention to them. their body language. They speak in ways, you know. If you have to force a child to go somewhere, you may want to say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Constantly say, I don't want to
that.
go.
you know, I don't want to go
Yeah.
to Auntie's house. I don't want to go to Uncle's house. I
There's
don't
a
want to
reason.
hug. You
There's a
know,
reason.
you know, pay attention. You know, because we all, adults and children, we all want to be safe.
Yes.
You know, so we
Kids
have
are smart, you know.
kids are very, and they're very honest.
So honest. Oh my God, yes. And so when they say, look out, and it's not always the case now. So, I mean,
Right.
you know, 'cause
Yes.
kids are, you know, I mean, kids. And so they may go, because that uncle or aunt may be strict.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So they may be, they're not fun, but still listen to
But
them.
still, yeah.
Just listen to them. Tune in.
yeah.
And listen to our voices within ourselves. When
Yes.
when that little voice inside of you says, "Hey, something is wrong
Yeah.
with this person,"
Yeah.
just follow up and say that is what it is. But you know, I want to thank both of you for being here. This is just
Absolutely.
healing our mind, body, and soul
So
today.
therapeutic.
And that's what it is. It's therapy.
It's therapy.
Again, I said we have Tracy in the room, and when I think about being stressed, and she has this thing, it's a room spray that I spray, or a
Yes.
shower spray, and it literally calms me down. And sometimes I need that aromatherapy to do those different things. And we're gonna bring Tracy. She's gonna come on in our show coming up. We have some different things coming on, but I want people to know that it's very important for us to use aromatherapy.
Absolutely.
yeah.
But when you get that sensory where it allows the body to go into relaxation, these are nervines that she's using to help the body come into a very calm space. It really works. It's one of the things I tell, when she comes on, I tell people all the time, you know, before you take your blood pressure in the office, you need a little aromatherapy. Let's get, you know, those things into your system so that we have a good number, that we are relaxed and calm, and we get a true indication about what's going on. So these things are quite important in the way that we maneuver in our mind, body, spirit, and general well-being.
You're right. Essential oils.
Essential oils.
I mean, lavender is
Yes.
my thing. 'Cause that's relaxing. I mean,
Yeah.
there is lemongrass.
Yes.
I mean, peppermint, eucalyptus,
Yes.
frankincense.
Frankincense.
I mean, there's so many essential
Yes.
oils out there, and we just have to get to learn and know about
So,
them,
you know, if you know you're going into that situation, sometimes the doctor's office is very stressful. Bring your essential oil.
Yes.
Spray it in
we
the
can
mix.
use them in the shelters as
In the
well.
sh-
too.
absolutely, in your car. Reset yourself before, you know, you have to show up to the family. Reset yourself first in your car. That way, you are already, everything in your mind, body, and spirit is ready to go on and take on the tackle of that day.
So Island Magic is one of the companies that I partner with.
wow.
Right? And so
yes.
these room sprays, and this is not an
Divine.
ad, but it's not sponsored by anything else, but these are the products I believe in. These are
Yes.
things that I know that has helped me through my journey.
Yes.
And so this is, which is, just has a different things in there. But when we talk about
Oh my
body
gosh.
care, and we talk about what's important, this is what's important for me, is self-care.
Oh,
It's
yes.
being able to use Island Magic products products to help me heal.
Beautiful.
And I want you all just to smell it. And this is what helps me to relax. It helps me when I have a hard day to go in the shower and just
Oh,
do it. So
yes.
aromatherapy
Yes.
is so important.
It's very important.
And it's like feel on your skin. It makes you
Bad
feel
eczema.
comfortable.
And let me tell you, she gave me that. Look, let me tell you something. That sea moss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're promoting. I'm promoting. Well,
Oh,
shameless plug.
I'm always a
I am promoting.
Absolutely.
Because
but I'm
there are
saying
other people out
yeah,
there
I
who
believe
make
it.
stuff and they work and they're good. But sister,
I know. She's there.
Oh, yes.
goodness, wow.
So as
Thank
we
you.
close out,
Wow.
take time to water yourself.
Yes.
Take time to pamper yourself. These things are hypoallergenic. These are different things that can help you cope. Journal. Take time to go to retreats if you need to.
Yes.
Take time to sit with your sisters and have the conversation.
Wow.
Support your friends and family in their journey, whatever it is. People are going through hard times and you just don't know what people are going through. Extend a kind word.
Yes.
Love on people. Hug them when you see them. The right hug. Ask them for consent
Yes,
before you hug.
yes, yes.
Ask for consent. But the biggest thing I want to say is thank you all for being here. All the women we've had come on the show today.
Yes.
This
We want to shout out too.
Woo.
There are
Yeah.
people listening in,
Yes.
watching in.
Yes.
And I've got a sister friend, believe it or not, she's still online because there's a huge difference. That's my sister friend from all the way from England, from the UK.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
She and I, we both went from kindergarten
Yes.
through high school. And she promised she would be on this. And she's going to be on the show one day, very soon. She writes, she journals, and she's got a story to tell the world. She's been telling her story. She's a serious poet. This sister is very conscious and does what she does. Thank you for joining, sis. You promised and you came through. You don't know how much I love you like cooked food. I don't eat curry anymore, but I love you like escabeche fish and bami.
so
Can I say, if anyone
please.
wants to bless any of the ladies with some,
Yes.
please
We'll-
go to sofarsoclose.org.
We're gonna talk
and
about-
you,
yes.
yes, you can put in the memo when you do a donation that you want to support the sister with her, or even go to the chiropractor after going.
Yes.
Yes, any of these services, we have to help each other, and I would love for the ladies to be able to partake and go to the chiropractor or either
Yes, a
get some-
retreat.
yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Definitely.
yes.
And we're going to be talking about this and we're going to be promoting this. As you know, I am a biggest cheerleader for you and women in these spaces.
And I have been.
And I can't wait to go and go be
Yes.
under your service and your care. 'Cause I need
And
it.
April 12th, we'll be doing health screening at Lilburn Park with the Picture of Health Foundation. It is also a 5K walk, but you can find information on pictureofhealth.com. And we'll be happy to do health screenings there, recommend for anybody who's out there who's in need. We'll be happy to service you.
Oh, amazing.
Excellent.
And we have an event April 19th talking about wellness after in Lilburn as well.
Oh, wonderful,
So
wonderful.
we have a couple of things coming up about wellness and CMOS and understanding the importance of CMOS.
absolutely.
We have that coming up. And maybe Dr. Ward, I may need you for, I think that we are having on the
will
4th, I know, on the 4th of May. So we have great things coming
Wonderful,
up. This is
wonderful.
just the beginning
Collaborating.
of great things to come in
Yes.
whatever way that we can support. Those of you, I'm not going to share all of Katrina's information, but if you need to reach out, and we have women, we have 10 women that need things for household right now. So if you can, my email is tamaragammon@gmail.com, and I will forward the information to Katrina. We need household things. We need aromatherapy. We need brand new towels. We need self-care items. We need journals and these different things for these women. So again, my email address is tamaragammon@gmail.com. Please feel free to reach out to me and I will forward the information on. This is the beginning of greatness. And we thank you all. We know we're running out of time today.
It is, but we want to thank APAP Media again because this episode was sponsored. This Speak Harmony episode was sponsored by APAP Media.
Excellent.
Wow.
That's our huge partner
Yeah.
and supporter. And I mean, when I tell you Mr. Patrick Parkins, he does the best. He is amazing. I mean, he is a full service, by the way, and I'm telling you, he's a full service creative video and production company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, and live streaming. To contact them, guys, all you have to do is go to www.apapmedia.com, or you can email them at info@apapmedia.com. We just want to thank you again to our sponsors.
Thanks, Mr. B.
APAP Media. We love you, sir. Wow, what an amazing time. Ladies, thank you again for joining us.
Welcome. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
you.
It's
Tracy,
been
for
our
being
pleasure.
here.
Appreciate you.
Boy,
It's been our
Sharon, I don't know
pleasure.
how we're going to beat this show. Today has
Just
been
can't top it.
her story.
Yes.
This is not history. This is her story that has happened today on 3/11 here at APAP.
Yes.
And we can't beat it. It's just, what are we going to do next?
God, whatever you say, we'll do.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. You keep leading us, and we will just follow you. That's
Yes.
it.
That's it.
Amen.
Amen. So
Amen.
we'll do that. And
drop.
thank you to Mission Villa for the retreat. They have an upcoming retreat in June coming up in Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Nice.
I know.
I know, like
4 days,
wow.
3 nights, and we will share that information too. So Mission Villa will be one of the things, our sponsorship and partners too.
Yes.
That we're talking about retreat, watering yourself and taking care of yourself. But today has been so amazing. I don't even want to leave.
No.
We've got some things going on, but I'm so excited to be here. But thank you again. One Love, Speak Harmony.
Yes. Yes. This is Sharon Thompson with Tammy Gammon. Speak Harmony.
I had to turn around my chair because it's just one of those things. I'm just truly overwhelmed with joy for today.
Yes.
So as we come on and we say goodbye until next week, we thank you for all that you do. Thank you for tuning in on our YouTube for APAP Media. Please subscribe and like. And again, we have so much to offer here at APAP Media. We ask that you please go on and support us. And if you need podcast services, we're also here to help. So we'll talk to you soon. One love.
Meetings of the mind where wisdom is shared. Tamara and Sharon, a duo prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back. Forward with fortitude, the future's in sight. Together we rise like stars in the night. Authenticity reigns, love leads the way. We're speaking in harmony every single day. Speak harmony, let your voice intertwine. So let's move forward, ever bold and true. With Sharon and Tamara, the vision breaks through.